North Carolina beat UVA, beat them pretty well. Now, the bad dream has turned into a nightmare. And I want to know, when can we wake up?
You are Locked On Virginia, your daily podcast on the Virginia Cavaliers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, viewers and listeners. I'm your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and welcome to the Locked On Virginia Cavaliers podcast, your first place to come to get your Wahoo fix every day as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. The date is 2/26/2023, and this will serve as the post-game show wrap-up for University of North Carolina versus the University of Virginia in Chapel Hill. So as you heard in my cold open, I asked, when was the bad dream going to be over? I also asked the same question last show and the show before that. So let me ask you guys, when will this be over? Because as of right now, I totally feel like this has turned into a nightmare. I said it was going downhill, right? Going downhill 5 games ago. 5.5, 6 games ago. I said it was going downhill. Had a little bit of momentum, a little bit more momentum. Then we finally hit full speed going downhill with the loss to Boston College. Now we've gone straight through the ground and we lost to North Carolina with that same momentum. You know, hitting rock bottom was losing to Boston College. Now we've gone through the bottom. All right, we've gone through the surface. And, you know, with this loss to North Carolina, this thing does not have any brakes. Okay? You try to put brakes on, the wheels are too hot. There's nothing cooling this down. And the way that we lost this game is the same way that we lost all of the others. Or excuse me, we almost lost all of the others. And then the way we lost Boston College and the way that we lost this North Carolina. Although it was a little bit different, but the same problem still persists. You know, the issues of missing free throws, guys. Missing free throws. What else can we do to stay in games? Okay? Only thing we have to do is just hit free throws to keep the games close. You never know what happens if you can keep the game close. You hit your free throws, all of a sudden it's a different game. You make them do different things. But we're not hitting free throws. We were 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Under 50%, man. I'm telling you, man, this is very upsetting to me. You know, covering UVA basketball all these years and just trying to figure out, you know, usually Coach Bennett and the team and the coaching staff can figure it out. They may be stumped officially. Coach Bennett and the staff may be stumped because this team is full of talent and they're having issues scoring the ball and stopping them on defense. They have to figure something out because on both sides of the ball, they're losing. They're losing even in transition, going to different sides of the court in the middle there. They're losing there too because they're still giving up easy buckets. So I'm not sure what direction or what needs to change. Coach Bennett spoke about some of it in the post-game conference. He spoke of concentration, the things that I have been talking about for the past 4 or 5 games. The concentration factor isn't there. We have to change something fundamentally, which is hard for Coach Bennett to do. Coach Bennett does not like to change his core things, the things he likes to do fundamentally, because and with proof, he knows, typically things will turn around, but this isn't the time to stick with and to be stubborn with what you got going on now. You have to find things that work. Right now, nothing is really working. The defense is getting gashed. And I know there was an incredible performance put on by Pete Nance. He was on fire. The man hit 3 of 3 from 3-point land, wound up with shooting 4 for 4 from 3, 4 blocks. The man wound up with 22 points. Didn't miss a 3-pointer, I believe, all night. Made all 4 of the ones that he took. RJ Barrett opened it up for RJ Barrett. The bad thing about it is Armando Bacot, their superstar big man, preseason player of the year, barely got double figures. Barely got double-digit rebounds. That guy usually gets something like 18, 19 points and 12, 13 rebounds, and he plays the entire game. UVA did a great job of slowing him down and pretty much taking him out of the game. He was a factor, but he was nowhere near the factor that he usually is. But where do we go, man? We got to figure something out. Maybe us as the fan base, maybe we can write in. And the chat rooms right now are on fire. The people in our fan base, I tell you, I gotta laugh. People in the chat rooms right now are arguing and yelling at each other, through digital, in the chat rooms, typing to each other, upset with each other. The people that aren't, no, I'm not going to say they're not upset, but they don't express themselves the way that some people who may be more explosive, with their emotions, after a loss. You got to let these folks have it. Let these people get upset. Let these people have, their release. Some of these folks are upset because, they're yelling or they're upset or, now I'm not saying go out and disrespect anybody, online, but if they want to criticize the team, because believe me, I'm pretty sure they praise the team when they're doing well, but if they want to criticize this team, let them criticize this team right now. For me, I think that this team is not above criticism right now. Whatever's going on and what they're doing, it seems like they kind of trying to do the same thing. Isn't that insanity? Trying to do the same thing, trying to get a different result. That's the meaning of insanity, right? I'm not sure, but let's sit tight and let me tell you about a great product that I like, that I have tried and continue to use. Looking for a delicious treat, but don't want the fat and calories? You got to try Built Bar. We just got through the holidays, and now my goal is to eat a little healthier this year. If you're like me, where you want to eat healthier, but don't want to compromise taste, then man, I've got just the thing for you. You gotta try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously. They're so delicious you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolutions. What makes Built Bar so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievably good flavors like churro, peanut butter, brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these taste like candy bars while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better, is that they're healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now, you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built Bars at Built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're close to Sam's Club, run and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors of brownie batter and churro. You can thank me later. So as we go down this rabbit hole of what's going on with this team, where do we sit? Where do we go from here? Losing 71-63, and to be honest, the game wasn't that close. The score does not indicate really what happened in the game. Really, UVA was down by quite a bit of points and never led in the game. That's 2 in a row. UVA has never led in the game, and it just felt kind of dismal. I'm watching these guys shoot threes. In the second half, I did see some energy from some of the players. They did come out and they did play some tougher defense. But we have to do it, man. And Tony Bennett did it again. He started Bennett Vanderplas. And don't get me wrong. I love what Bennett Vanderplas brings to the team, being a 5, stretch 5. But the guys that they were against, Armando Bacot, 6'10", 50 pounds, big guy, 240-some pounds. Pete Nance, 6'10", 6'11", long, lanky guy. And then Leaky Black, 6'8", 6'9", extra athletic, similar to like how Ryan Dunn is. We didn't have enough size out there. Our starters, Kihei Clark, 5'9", being generous. Reese Beekman, 6'3", Amon Franklin, 6'4", Jaden Gardner, 6'6", Bennett Vanderplas, 6'8". We're small. We were just absolutely tiny out there against these big, long, athletic Carolina guys. So where do we go? What do we do? That was a show of just the talent of UNC. UNC beat them based off of being more talented, in my opinion. I don't think UVA really. Well, first of all, they shouldn't have lost the game because typically they're better coached than most coaches. Coach Tony Bennett out coaches players. Out coaches with his players against other coaches very well. But this game, it just wasn't there. He didn't show it. I think that he was too stubborn. I think that he's stuck in what he feels is gonna work. I think that the ACC, especially this part of the year, they're doing the copycat league thing where one team, a couple teams have found out how to crack the code a little bit with Coach Bennett. We're talking Virginia Tech. We're talking Duke. Some of those teams. Boston College. They have found a way to, number one, slow down the offense and make UVA into shooters because they're shooting horrifically right now. And then turning their defense, which is their strength, supposed to be UVA's strength, into a sieve. You're able to score points. And then this confidence thing that UVA has going on right now, because that's what it is. It's the 2 C's, confidence and concentration. They're not capitalizing on any of these opportunities. We're talking about open 3-pointers, flat out miss. open 3-pointers. You get a good look at the shot, and I count at this way at the rate and the way that these players shoot now. I call a good look an open 3. Even if there's a guy somewhat in your vicinity, if it's a good look, that's an open 3 to me. They shoot threes too well not to count them as that. Free throws, and let me just give you the numbers. I'm talking about it, but let me just give you the numbers. UVA 3-pointers, I was just talking about, shot 4 of 12. So what that means is shooting 4 of 12, you want to change up your strategy, right? All right, we're not shooting that well outside. What does that mean? We got to go inside the 3-point line and try to get buckets. Whether it's mid-range, at the rim, free throws, whatever. We got to find a way to get more points. So right off the bat, you're thinking 2-pointers. Yeah, let's try to get to the rim. UVA shot 8 of 25. 8 of 25 or 8 of 24. 8 of 25 from layups. You're not going to beat anyone. I don't care where you are, what program, what level you're at in the NBA, college basketball, high school basketball, Pee Wee League basketball, summer league, whatever. You're not going to beat anybody shooting 8 for 12 when it comes to layups and short shots. And it's like they're not concentrating at the last moment. They need to make sure that ball gets in the rim. And if you're not going to make the shot, there's no need for them to worry much more. But, if they're not hitting their 2-pointers, why foul them? Because they're not hitting twos. But when they do foul them, UVA they shot 5 of 11 yesterday. Less than 50%. This whole thing with, being efficient, UVA basketball, playing the style that Coach Bennett loves to play. And I said this, that playing at this pace when you're not scoring well is a recipe for losses to teams that don't have as much talent as you. Now, I'm not talking about UNC because they're loaded with talent. But I'm talking about teams that they should beat handedly. When you're in the slump and you're not scoring from outside and you're not scoring from deep, you need to quicken the pace. Do something. We were the smaller team, right? Against North Carolina. Why didn't we try to break a little bit more? Why didn't we try to go up tempo? We were the smaller team. That only makes sense to me, right? That only makes sense. You're the smaller team. We struggled in the half court against them, and we probably should have. They're much bigger, so when we were missing our threes, when we would try to get to the bucket, Kihei's trying to score a layup. Hey, Kihei was probably blocked 4 times yesterday. 3 to 4 times yesterday. Everybody else on the team got blocked, had a block. This team blocked us maybe like 8 times, for 8 to 10 times. I want to say Pete Nance had 4 himself. And there was a numerous amount of shots that were changed by the length of North Carolina between Leaky Black, Armando Bacot, and everybody else in there. So, what do we do to change? My suggestion has always been, because we go into slumps and we don't score, multiply your possessions. The way you multiply your possessions is you start playing a little bit more of an up-tempo game. You look to break a fast break. You look to break a little bit more. Get going up the court a little bit more. We didn't see enough Caden. We didn't see enough Ryan Dunn. I asked for Caden and Ryan Dunn this my past show before this game, because I knew we would be playing a longer, athletic, more skilled team. between Leaky Black and those guys I just named, Rondo Baycott and Pete Nance, those guys are skilled big men. All those guys can score down low. Those guys, some of those, they have a varied skill set. Pete Nance is a 6'10", 6'11" kid who can shoot from deep. Leaky Black can shoot a little bit. He's athletic. He covers on defense. Armando Baycott, just an animal down low. Then you got the guards with R.J. Davis and the rest of those guys. I mean, who can shoot and create space. We don't have that kind of talent, really. That's why most of those guys are going to play in the NBA. All the guys that I just named, they're going to get a shot playing in the NBA. Those are 4 and 5 stars for sure. But from a team playing standpoint, we have always been, especially lately with Coach Bennett at the helm, have always been the better team basketball chemistry team, chemistry playing team. But we're not playing with that right now. And it's showing. I said before, it's time to get back to our core. Tony Bennett, the project has to be over, man. That's 2 losses in a row. You lost these games in the same way, and we've been struggling for 6 games in the same way. Can't shoot free throws, not hitting open threes, having trouble making your twos, all right? And the defense is getting scored on at a pace that I don't think I've ever seen the UVA team get scored on. What that means is, what do UVA do well? Always. We're known for what? Defense. Get back to our basics, which is defense. Sacrifice that offense, put back in that defense. And it starts with putting Caden Cedric back at center. Bennett Vanderplas back to the 6-man role. Give him a little bit more versatility. You put more minutes on Caden's scorecard so he can, just to solidify the middle. Stop some of these other players from other schools from coming in and getting easier buckets. At least change some shots. And this is a bold one I'm about to say. How about we switch Ryan Dunn for Armaan Franklin to start? Not saying that Armaan takes the bulk of the minutes, but I think bring Ryan Dunn in for Armaan Franklin. Not saying that Ryan Dunn takes Armaan Franklin's minutes, a ton of them, but I think let's start that way. That way it's a defense-first approach. Ryan Dunn can play that small forward position, or him and Jaden at 6'6", 6'8", and Ryan Dunn is super uber athletic. Caden, super uber athletic, playing the big man. Because we're not making our threes. And maybe Armaan, he shot up, he shot, he's peaked. And maybe this team has peaked. But we got to find a new identity. And the new identity is maybe the old identity, which is playing defense, lockdown defense. And then the offense winds up taking care of itself. Once the defense creates, offense creates mismatches on the other end in the form of a secondary break, a quick break, something, but we got to get back to defense, guys. That's the bottom line. I'm going to be on this defensive thing for a while. We only got 2 games left. We got Clemson, okay, this Tuesday. Then Saturday, we got Louisville coming back. And believe me, they're like, man, we should have been the team to beat them, not Boston College, because they gave us everything that we wanted. Notre Dame, Louisville, they want their opportunity back to beat us again because they both could have beaten us the way that we are. Duke as well. I know this tournament, there are teams that are licking their chops. They can't wait to knock Virginia out for this tournament down in Greensboro. I'm just getting started, man. I'm sorry, viewers and listeners, if y'all aren't with me on this, but we got to change something. This team is too talented. The coaching staff is too good. but we got to change some of our fundamental things. We got to get back to defense. Armand Franklin and Bennett Vanderplas, take those guys, our offensive guys out, put in Ryan Dunn, Caden Cedric, and let's see how we can run with that. That's my suggestion. Make sure you guys check us out tomorrow. I'm going to have my guy Casey Pazaya in the building on the show, and we're going to talk a little baseball. UVA scores 9, after a 0-0 game, scores 9 runs in the 8th inning to blow it out against Columbia to sweep the series. Hey, this is a special team, I think. Maybe Omaha bound. Maybe come summertime we might be able to get out there and watch them. But my baseball correspondent, Casey Pazzalia, and my writer for baseball, Ed Thompson, as well. May have to bring Ed on, introduce you guys to him. But, oh, boy. Got to thank you guys again. This is a dream, being able to cover this team as I have. But we got to change some things, man. We got to change some things. I'm hoping to get to March Madness tournament, but now that we've had these losses, I was hoping that UVA would win enough games to be stationed in Greensboro. They're probably going to be stationed in LA somewhere at a 5 seed or 4 seed. I don't know, whatever. Just come back and check me out tomorrow with my man Casey Pazzalia. Let me get out of this funk that I'm in right now. But I love you guys. Thanks again for making Locked On Virginia your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus hear from big news experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Wahoo.